Hi, today I would like to share my reflection on the path to knowledge. So I'm learning coding, and I think I've written a lot of for loops. So for loop is a fundamental idea in coding, and I'm sure like every developer has written like thousands of for loops um, in their life in one form or another. And I started out learning about it, and then after reading, I think I got it. Um, and then I started doing some exercises, and I realized that, oh, I didn't get it right. It wasn't what I thought. So I asked my friend explained, and it's like, oh, okay, that's the for loop. And then again, I thought I knew it. I thought, okay, I learned something new about the for loop. Now I knew what the for loop is. And then uh, after a short time, I wasn't practicing, and then I had to prepare for my coding interviews, and that was when I had to, like write code in real time whiteboarding. And it was when I realized that I don't know what a for loop is. Like, this is like a colon or a semicolon. like I wasn't sure, and so I told myself, hey, I don't know this, even though it's such a basic thing. It's something that I've learned so many times before, and still I don't get it yet. I still don't know how to write a proper for loop. And so I was really feeling really down. I was feeling like I will never be able to get this. Just a simple thing, and I never be able to get it. But again, I was lucky. I just never gave up. I think that's the first lucky thing I've done, and the second thing is I have good friends who are willing to help me, and I also have nice interviewers who are patient and yeah, super nice. Um, that can put up with my silence and awkwardness in all the interviews. And so, after going through a bunch of interviews and also practicing more, I realized that, hey, now after writing so many for loops, not just one, but two, and then one nested into each other, I again am feeling today that I finally got the for loop. So if you think about it, it might sound very similar, like, like you have a power and then you just like uh, break the petals. You just break off the petals of the flower, and it's like, I know, I don't know, I know, I don't know. But actually, if you think of it in terms of a spectrum, then you get like a better idea of the path to knowledge. So the path to knowledge is not about like one day you know everything about something and the next day you forget everything. The path to knowledge is one thing building on top of each other. It is layers and layers upon each other about the same thing. For example, let's just, for example, like if you look at this, then maybe one day you learn that, oh, this is round. And then the next day you learn that, oh, it's actually flat. Like this way it's flat, it's not round anymore. And then the next day you learn that, oh, it's actually like not even flat. It can be like weird like this. And so it's the same object, but um, you keep learning more aspects of it. I would say you gain more snapshots of the same thing. You see more of it. So a mistake that I myself made a lot is telling myself that, hey, I'm stupid. Like I don't know about this. Even though I spent so much time working on this, I still don't know it. I'm stupid. Like this is not for me. Like I'm not good enough for this. And I think that has happened a lot to everyone who's really like determined in like learning something and then run into a block and feel like everything that you've learned that you've known doesn't make sense. And so this is like a message to encourage everyone on this path, the learning path, that even though someday you might feel like, oh, I don't know anything, it actually, you still know a lot. You know a lot. You just don't know it. You've built up a lot of layers in your mind. It's like it's not like one dimension. So like an object, not one dimension. If you think that knowing one dimension is knowing everything about the object, then you're wrong. Okay, but with every practice, you get a better snapshot of the same object, and then you see it from different angle, and then you see how it can be crumbled. You see maybe in like different shades. Then finally, after like a lot of practice, then you really know what it is. And so to me, it's like having a spectrum, and then instead of thinking that, oh, hey, I know everything, or instead of saying I don't know anything. So that is two ends of the spectrum. The one that is like arrogant, saying, oh, I know everything, I know this very well, I know everything about this. And the other one is like being very insecure and saying, oh, I don't know anything, I'm stupid. uh, with practice, we will move toward the middle of the spectrum, which is where you feel that, okay, I have had some understanding of this, but I'm open to new knowledge. I'm open minded. I know that there might be more new things um, that will expand my knowledge about this in the future. And so, if you keep that attitude, it's very easy for you to learn. So if you learn when you learn something new, then you don't get arrogant and then feel like, oh, I don't need to learn about it anymore. I already knew everything. And you also don't get like too caught up in failure when you realize that you don't know it. You become very confident and open, and that way knowledge will just travel into your mind. And once your mind welcomes knowledge, it will stay there. Yeah, so that's my reflection on my path to knowledge. It's, I think it's very interesting. Hope you guys like it.